What happens when two legends collide? Imagine a silent dojo, the smell of sweat and pine mats heavy in the air, and two men circling each other, each carrying a lifetime of training and pride. Would the clash be a quiet handshake or a storm that shook the martial arts world? Steven Seagal, born April 10, 1952, in Lansing, Michigan, was not just a Hollywood action star. Before the lights and cameras, he was the first foreigner to run an Aikido dojo in Japan, a man who carried himself like he'd seen something most of us never would. Frank Dux, born April 6, 1956, is a martial artist surrounded by myth and legend. He claimed to have fought in a secret underground tournament, the Kumite, and his story inspired the cult classic Bloodsport. Whether you believe all of it or not, Frank Dux was no stranger to danger. So when whispers began that these two titans met and fought, it felt less like gossip and more like a storm cloud forming over the martial arts world. Picture this, a quiet Los Angeles dojo in the early 1990s. The air is heavy, still. Outside, the sun is burning low, casting an amber glow through narrow windows. The sound of distant traffic fades into nothing as you step inside. There are no cameras here, no movie crews, just a mat, two men, and a handful of silent onlookers. You can almost hear the creak of the floorboards. The smell of sweat and old wood lingers. Steven Seagal stands tall, calm, almost too calm. He has that effortless stillness that can be more intimidating than any shout. Dux is coiled, alert, his eyes scanning every movement like a predator sizing up prey. No one speaks. The tension is a living thing, humming through the air like a low drum beat. Seagal bows lightly, the gesture smooth but faintly dismissive, as if saying, "I've done this 1,000 times. I am unshakable." Dux bows too, slower, measured. He knows this is more than a sparring match. This is about pride, reputation, the very idea of who is the real deal in a world where movies often blur truth and fantasy. The first movement is fast, so fast that most people in the room barely see it. Seagal steps forward, a blur of black gi and quiet power, his hands moving with the precision of a swordsman. But Dux doesn't fall. He pivots, absorbs the motion, and counters with a strike that slices the air so close you can almost feel it on your skin. The room holds its breath. There is no trash talk, no shouting, only the sound of feet sliding, cloth whipping, and the sharp exhale of each technique. Seagal's style is flowing like water spilling across stone. Every move is smooth, effortless, as if he's controlling an invisible current. Dux is the opposite, explosive, sharp, every motion carrying the weight of impact. It's like watching lightning crash against a river. For a moment, the world feels very small, just two men and the space between them that seems to stretch and contract like a heartbeat. Then it happens. Seagal steps in for a lock, a technique that should have ended it. But Dux breaks free. The onlookers gasp. No one breaks free from Seagal, not in those days. The room shifts. The energy feels charged, electric, almost dangerous. Seagal narrows his eyes, just slightly. Dux straightens his shoulders. They move again, faster, sharper, until suddenly Seagal takes him down. It's not a movie-perfect throw. It's messy, real. Dux hits the mat hard, but rolls up onto one knee, breathing heavy, ready for more. And then Seagal steps back. He bows. It's over. No one cheers. No one dares to break the spell. What happened in that room would be told and retold for years. Some saying Seagal dominated, others swearing Dux held his own, maybe even won. The truth? Only the men in that room really know. But one thing was clear. This was not a staged fight. This was two worlds meeting, Hollywood and underground, myth and reality, and neither left unchanged. Looking back now, it feels almost eerie. We live in a world where legends clash every day on screens. But that quiet moment, two men testing each other in near silence, feels like something sacred. It reminds us that behind every movie punch, every heroic story, there is a human being who has bled, trained, and sacrificed for the craft. Maybe that's why the story still matters, because in that room, for just a few minutes, Steven Seagal and Frank Dux were not actors or icons. They were warriors. So what do you think really happened that day? Did Seagal prove his dominance? Or did Dux' resistance show that he was every bit the fighter he claimed to be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. If you enjoyed this story, give this video a like, share it with a friend who loves martial arts history, and don't forget to subscribe for more true stories from the shadows of the past. Because sometimes, the real battles happen where no one can see.